what's the challenge been for you guys this week without having Devondre here in person?
Well, it's kind of the it's kind of the new normal. Thank God for Mr. Zoom or whoever invented that, because it's been great. Just in the simple fact that Devondre hasn't missed anything except obviously he hadn't been on the field. But every single one of our meetings, every single one of our doesn't matter if it's a team meeting, a defensive meeting, any of my installation meetings, all of KO's individual meetings. So thank goodness for that. And Devondre is the type of guy that he is. I can't remember if I've really gotten into the way he just operates. I bragged on Rasul last week about how he prepares and how much of a pro he is. Dre's in the same category. I mean, he is at any part of the day, 8 to 5. If he's not in a meeting, he's in the linebacker room with his iPad in his hand, watching something, studying something. So. You never want a guy to be out of the building for 10 days, obviously. Thank goodness part of it was over the bye week. But if there's a guy that can function without being in the building the last 4 days when we've been back, it's a type of pro like Devondre Campbell, just because of the way he prepares and studies and goes about the game.
What have you thought about what you've gotten out of Tipa in the last couple of games?
It's been great. Tipa's a kid that as a coach, the circumstances that happened for him to get a helmet and get off practice squad, you never want that. But when things happen, unfortunately Whitney goes down, and you thank God that you got a guy like Tipa in the hopper, kind of, because he's a phenomenal kid. He the way he works, the way he prepares. He's just been a sponge, with Mike Smith's coaching. So he's done a great job for us. I think, he got thrust into a tough situation, up at the Vikings his very first game, and he played his tail off, and then did some really good stuff for us against the Rams as well. So very, very pleased with how he's been able to step up. And, it's kind of the common theme that I've talked quite a bit about with the lineup changes that we've had this year. When guys have gotten opportunities, they've taken advantage of them, and Tipa's a great example of it.
Joe, how much are you looking forward to the possibility of getting Ja back and just the different options that he can give you with your matchups?
Yeah, I think you guys know. I love the kid. He is just Of course, I love the player. He's insanely talented, but just it's been nice. He's the way Ja has been, the last however long it's been, 8 or 9 weeks. He's here, he's in the building, he's around, but it's just been nice to kind of interject him back into football, having him out on the practice field, just because of the energy and the juice and just the natural passion that he brings. So it's been great the last 2 days having him out, and we'll just, yesterday was a good day. He felt good today. Today was a good day. So we'll just take it day by day, but it's phenomenal and exciting with the potential of getting him back, because he's special kid, special player.
What did you know about Jerry Gray? I'm sure you knew of Jerry.
Yeah.
But before you actually met him, what did you have did you know him well?
Yeah, we had never, you got to understand the NFL coaching fraternity. It's a pretty small group, but it's a pretty tight group. Everyone kind of knows everybody. And if you don't know somebody, you know a buddy that's worked with them, or it's a tight-knit group. So Jerry and I had never worked together, but I definitely knew Coach Gray, obviously by reputation, and it was obviously a no-brainer when I got hired here that to keep him and to work with him, I was incredibly excited about, because he does a phenomenal job. we call him the OG, and he is just he is so wise. He is I think anytime that you have a great coach that played in this league at a high level like Jerry did, I think it just there's a lot of great coaches in I mean, shoot, I didn't play in the league, but I learned football and I learned how to coach. Jerry's just one of those unique, special guys that is a great coach that played the game and really understands the game and is able to get that across, especially to young players. And if you just look at the job that he's obviously done with Eric, for example, the job that he's done with Razul, not to mention Smash and Savage and Ja and Eric and the long list of guys, but just the young guys and the new guys that have come in and played really well for us. Jerry's done a phenomenal job, and just a phenomenal man, phenomenal person, phenomenal coach. So I love coming to work with him every single day.
Does everybody talks about the next man up. It sounds all great in theory, but a lot of teams get the next man up and the next man up stinks or can't perform. So what's he done with, I mean, he's had a bunch of next men up at corner.
Sure. I think we kind of got into this, last week or the week before. Sometimes it's just, I think it's like with Rasul, for example, it's just been, sometimes it's the right building, it's the right place, it's the right time, it's the right fit. But you still gotta coach the guy, and you gotta get him up to speed, and you have to teach. And I think that's probably the best attribute that Jerry has, is that he's an incredible teacher. He teaches the game to the guys. Obviously, you got to teach the guy the playbook, but you got to teach technique. You got to teach the position specific, how you're going to get attacked every week. And he does a really, really incredible job doing that. And but he's done. I mean, the list is long. I mean, the job that he's done with Eric this year as a rookie has been phenomenal. So, like I said, just an incredible coach. But to me, the simplest definition of coach is a coach is a teacher. You guys all remember when you were in high school. The greatest teachers that you guys had were. I was terrible in math. I remember Mr. Smith, my math teacher in high school. He made me understand math. That's a great teacher, and that's what a coach is. A coach is teaching players not only technique, but all aspects and all ways to view the game. And Jerry really does a great job with the entire back end, but especially our corners.
So what did you learn from the Rams game? And in particular, the week before, Justin Jefferson has that huge game, and you come in and you pay a lot of attention to Cooper Kupp and don't really let him take over the game. But then there's a couple other plays maybe that were off of that, would you say?
Yeah.
So what do you learn from those two situations? Is there kind of an in-between there in how you handle those guys?
Well, I mean, as you know, every week's completely different. There's so many subtleties to all 32 NFL offenses in this league, and all great wide receivers are different. Obviously, 18 in Minnesota is incredible, just like number 10 in LA is. So you have to obviously, they have different skill sets, they have different routes that they really can run and they feature. Now, when you talk about Jefferson and Kupp, I mean, they're arguably two of the best receivers in this league, and there's nothing that they can't do. But we definitely, not to say that we didn't pay attention to Jefferson. He had a great day against us that day. But we were, I was, I think I told you guys I got a ton of respect for Cooper. I think just the way he approaches the game and the way he attacks every single week as far as his preparation, he's special. And it was great. We paid a lot of attention to him, maybe too much attention to him at times, when they hit us on the long one. But great wide receivers like that, especially, they demand attention. Even if you got great one-on-one matchups that you feel that you have against those guys, those great wideouts can make plays. And Jalen, I tip my head, he did a damn good job against us when we played the Vikings. We did a really good job against Cooper the whole game, I thought. And you're never, I firmly believe, you're never gonna completely shut down a guy. But if you can allow him not to destroy the game, which we did a great job with Cooper. Not so much the week before in Minnesota.
All right, Katie, we're going to go to Zoom for 2. Go ahead, Katie.
This is obviously a passing league. What's your philosophy for stopping the run, and how does that fit in?
What's your pass defense?
Yeah, well, I don't want to give too many secrets away, but I do believe that it starts with stopping the run. It really does. If you simply just look at just time of possession alone, I think you gotta number one, you gotta find ways to stop the run. And again, we kind of got into wideouts. You get into situations when you play against backs that some teams have great backs, some teams have not great backs. But I think every single week, especially you talk about Chicago for specifically, I think they're a different offense. Obviously, when Montgomery's playing, I got a ton of respect for him. We didn't face him, in the first game. He's back this week. That's going to be a big challenge for us, just because not only the things that they do when they simply hand him off the ball, but you were talking about the passing game. They incorporate him into the passing game. They have, it's been, quite common in this day and age in offensive football. They have him play the quarterback wildcat position. Just another way to get him the ball. So, but I back to your original question. I firmly believe that great defense starts with stopping the run. You got to do that first. And then you got to find ways to be able to, it starts with you got to be able to generate pressure on the quarterback by rushing 4. If you can't do that, then you got to get creative and find other ways. But I'm a firm believer that you in this league, to play great defense, you got to stop the run first.
Aaron Nagler.
Hey, Coach.
Hi, Aaron.
I promised I was going to ask this prior to you letting us all know that you hate math, but coming off your self-scout during the bye week, how much, if at all, do you utilize analytics? And do you utilize analytics normally throughout your coaching routine?
Oh yeah, I think we have an incredible department here, as does in this day and age. It's pretty common that most NFL teams do. Some people really use analytics more than others, but I don't think there's a team in the National Football League right now that don't use some form of analytics to some extent. And like I said, we get I get a series of emails every day with different information from the guys that we have here, which do an incredible job. And it's not only the standard things. I mean, you literally could, anything that you can think of from, hey, give me, exactly where Allen Robinson has caught every single pass this year. I mean, you can pinpoint it in this day and age with the staff that we have. So it's pretty impressive what you can do with it. I think sometimes, at least with me, I got to be careful sometimes where you can get too much information and it's information overload. I know that's how I feel, because again, anything that you can think of that you want to get from a statistic, that can be generated and created in this day and age with at least with the staff that we have that are awesome. So I do use it to a certain extent, but the one thing I think with analytics, you sometimes have to be careful. Every single game and every single situation is uniquely different. There's no game situation that's exactly the same. whether it's down and distance, whether it's time on the clock, whether it's score, whether it's weather, whether it's indoor, whether it's outdoor. To me, those are all things from an analytics standpoint that, you know, the computer can't figure that out. So again, I think analytics are incredibly important, and it's a amazing tool that we're able to use in today's football. But I do think you got to be careful sometimes overdoing it.